From the ashes of Superman's death, 4 figures rise to take up the mantle, but only one is driven by a cold, ruthless logic. Today, we're diving into the world of Reign of the Supermen with this detailed review of the Mafex Eradicator action figure. Whether you're a hardcore fan of the 90s comic arc or just love meticulously crafted action figures, this one's packed with detail. I'll be covering articulation, paint apps, and all the features that make this version of the Eradicator stand out. So, stick around as we break down what makes Mafex's Eradicator a must-have for any Superman collection. Let's get into it. But before we get to the figure itself, let's talk about where the Eradicator's story begins, in the box. Because every great hero needs an entrance, and Mafex knows how to make a first impression. The box features the same captivating black box as the other Reign of Superman figures. The large front window offers an exhilarating glimpse of the figure and its accessories, including that alternate head and those eye-catching yellow energy effects. It's as if Eradicator is locking eyes with you, tempting you to break him free from his plastic confines. As we move to the lower part, the bold Superman logo catches your eye, complementing the DC, Medicom, and Mafex logos, neatly displayed alongside a striking promo shot of Eradicator in the corner. The design is elegant and efficient. There's no extra fluff, just an unwavering focus on the incredible figure itself. On the side, we find the Superman logo once again, paired with another electrifying promo shot and the Medicom sticker that screams quality. Now, the back of the box is where the real fun starts. It's packed with all the details, close-ups of the soft goods cape, the alternate head sculpt, and the energy effect pieces. If you weren't already sold, the promo shots on the back will push you over the edge. It's like a visual checklist of everything you're about to unbox. Sturdy, sleek, and full of nostalgia. This box delivers on all fronts. But let's be real, as good as the packaging is, the figure inside is the real star of the show. So, without further ado, let's crack this thing open and see if Mafex's Eradicator lives up to the hype. All right, we've cracked open this beauty, and here's what Eradicator is packing. Out of the box, he comes with 5 extra sets of hands, an alternate head sculpt, and, of course, an energy blast power effect. For a figure like this, that's a pretty robust lineup that's sure to keep collectors happy and posing enthusiasts busy. Now that we've admired the box and its collector-worthy design, it's time to dive into what really matters, the accessories. Because let's face it, a great figure's all about the details. And while Mafex didn't overload us with extras, what's included here is thoughtfully chosen to bring the Eradicator to life. First up, we have his relaxed open hands. These are perfect for those moments when the Eradicator is just chilling, contemplating his next move, or, enforcing Kryptonian justice with calm authority. Then we've got his flight hands, flat, straight, and aerodynamic, ideal for recreating those iconic flying poses. Or, if you're feeling creative, you could call them karate chop hands. Either way, they get the job done. Next, the grasping or clawing hands. These add some serious drama to his poses, whether he's tearing through enemies or just reaching out in the most menacing way possible. They're great for dynamic action shots. The open action hands are next, and these are a must for capturing those mid-battle energy poses. Whether he's commanding the battlefield or preparing an epic attack, these hands scream power. Finally, the star of the hand lineup, the energy-imbued hands. These translucent yellow beauties are where things really heat up. They're perfect for showing off his power in full Kryptonian glory, whether he's charging up for an attack or slapping down some intergalactic foes. Bonus points for the dynamic sculpt. It's like the energy is surging right through his fingers. Now, let's talk about how the energy blast effect ties it all together. This accessory fits seamlessly with the energy-imbued hands, creating a truly electrifying display. The translucent yellow gradient, starting with a bright, almost glowing base and transitioning to a darker, fiery tip, is absolutely stunning. It really gives off the vibe of a power blast building up and reaching its peak intensity. The sculpt of the blast itself is fantastic, that convey the raw, uncontainable energy Eradicator is known for. Whether you pose him mid-attack or in a stance of sheer intimidation, this accessory adds so much personality and presence to the figure. It's the kind of detail that transforms a static pose into a story, like he's in the middle of one of those epic Reign of the Supermen showdowns. Honestly, this energy effect is a showstopper and pairs perfectly with the Eradicator's imposing look. It's not just an accessory, it's a visual representation of the character's raw power, and I'm here for it. Now, let's talk about the final, but absolutely not the least, the head sculpt. It's truly a gem. Mafex might not have showered us with options, but this figure has a head sculpt that packs a punch. I mean, just imagine an all-black head with a glowing visor. Come on, Mafex, we need that. But I digress. This head sculpt perfectly captures the Eradicator in all his furious glory, showcasing his ruthless, raging demeanor. Check it out, he's gritting his teeth, and his eyes seem to glow with intensity. The paint job, absolutely fantastic and impeccably clean. The skin tone, spot on. There's even shading around his nasolabial folds, which is such a delightful detail. The lips have a light pinkish hue that looks totally natural. And those eyebrows? Well done, indeed. His hair features striking black with blue highlights, accurate to the source material and just stunning. And it's sculpted like as if it was blown away. And don't even get me started on the visor. It's got this incredible round sculpt on the sides that completely covers his ears in brilliant yellow, with a clear yellow in the front that just pops. The blue paint at the back is meticulously done. Overall, the paint job is exceptional. This figure is an absolute must-have. Now that we've taken a closer look at the accessories and how they enhance the figure's personality, let's shift our focus to the centerpiece of it all, the figure itself. This is where the Mafex Eradicator truly shines, with its intricate paintwork and sculpt that bring the cold, calculated Kryptonian tech to life. From the bold lines of the iconic S shield to the sleek, glossy black suit that radiates an air of power and intimidation, every aspect of this figure has been meticulously designed. So, let's break it all down and see if Mafex captured the essence of one of the most mysterious Supermen from the reign of the Superman arc. Let's dive right in, starting at the top. By default, his head sculpt immediately commands attention with its powerful and serious expression. The sculpt captures his intense demeanor perfectly, drawing you into the character. His thick, bold eyebrows and glowing yellow-tinted eyes are mesmerizing, giving off an almost otherworldly aura that's true to his Kryptonian origins. The subtle folds and contours of his face are beautifully detailed, adding a lifelike quality, and the slight cleft chin becomes especially striking when lit, bringing even more personality to the figure. Moving to the hair, it's a classic black with vibrant blue highlights that give it depth and dimension, making it pop under the light. Then there's the visor. What a standout feature. The bold yellow cap extends around his ears, while the clear front allows a perfect view of his eyes and nose, creating an almost futuristic vibe. It's a brilliant design choice that nails the iconic look of the Eradicator. The paintwork here is impeccable, clean, and precise, with no signs of overpainting or smudging. The sculpting of his head is equally phenomenal. Sharp cheekbones, a defined jawline, and that strong, heroic chin combine to create a head sculpt that's nothing short of masterpiece level. Every detail here screams quality and precision, making the Eradicator one of the most visually striking figures in the Mafex lineup. Moving down, the iconic S shield logo takes center stage, and it is nothing short of impressive. The sculpting here is sharp and precise, perfectly capturing the emblem's bold and striking design. The paint application is flawless, with vibrant colors and clean lines that pop against the deep black of his suit. What really elevates this detail, though, is how the soft goods cape is tucked seamlessly underneath the emblem, a subtle yet brilliant touch that adds depth and makes the figure feel even more dynamic. It's clear that Mafex was deeply dedicated to capturing every exact detail from the source material, ensuring that this figure feels like it leapt straight out of the pages of Reign of the Superman. It's this kind of attention to detail that truly makes the Eradicator stand out as a premium collectible. Now, let's dive deeper into the body sculpt and paint, starting with the overall design. The muscular details on this figure are truly commendable, striking a perfect balance between comic book exaggeration and realistic anatomy. Even with the simplicity of Eradicator's design, the sculpt takes full advantage of light and shadow, making those muscle definitions pop beautifully. The blue and black paintwork is sharp and clean, with no noticeable bleed or overspray. The sculpted seam lines where the colors meet are a great touch, adding a subtle layer of texture that keeps the design from feeling too flat. Moving to the pelvis area, Mafex made a smart choice by using soft plastic This not only enhances articulation, but also ensures that dynamic posing doesn't compromise the figure's aesthetics. The glossy finish across the body is another standout feature, giving Eradicator a sleek, futuristic vibe that perfectly aligns with his cold, Kryptonian tech origins. It's a striking contrast to other figures in the Superman lineup, which often feature a more matte finish. This glossy sheen makes him feel unique and commanding, a true standout in any collection. By the way, he comes equipped with a set of fist hands by default, perfect for those classic power poses or mid-punch action shots. Moving up to his arms, even with the all-black paint, the glossy finish really does wonders. When the light hits just right, it emphasizes the muscular definition and gives the arms a sense of power and strength. It's subtle but super effective, like the figure is just radiating energy. Now, flipping him around to his back, you'll notice it's just as meticulously sculpted as the front. The muscular contours are sharp and clean, showcasing that Mafex didn't skimp on the details. And of course, we can't forget the folds on his, cape support system, aka his butt. They're surprisingly well done, neatly sculpted, and adding a natural flow to the figure's design. Who knew folding details could make such a difference, right? It's little touches like this that show just how much care went into capturing Eradicator in all his Kryptonian glory. Alright, let's talk about the cape. First off, Mafex added these shoulder pads to give it more volume and to perfectly capture the source material's iconic look. Now, I know some people aren't big fans of these shoulder pads. Maybe you'd prefer to pop them off for a sleeker silhouette, but honestly, I'm all in on this design. As a collector, comic accuracy is a huge deal for me, and they absolutely nailed it here. Plus, it doesn't interfere with the articulation, so it's all upside in my book. It even adds some extra flair for those dynamic in-flight poses. What's not to love? Now, the cape itself is a showstopper. It's a rich, bold red, the fabric is lightweight and somewhat sheer, and the S symbol on the back, perfection. It's a bright, light yellow that pops beautifully against the red. To top it off, there are wires running along the edges all the way down to the bottom, letting you bend and shape it for dramatic, action-packed poses. Whether you're recreating a mid-air battle or just having him stand heroically, this cape takes the figure to the next level. Alright, let's get into the articulation. Because what's an Eradicator figure if he can't strike those epic Kryptonian poses? Mafex has packed in a solid range of motion here, and I'm excited to break it down. Starting with the head, he can tilt side to side, giving him that slightly inquisitive or menacing glare depending on the angle, perfect for recreating those "I'm a cold, calculating alien AI" moments. His head can rotate fully and turn side to side with ease. And the up and down range is surprisingly good, so whether he's looking down on humanity or scanning the skies for threats, you're covered. Moving to the shoulders, the drop-down mechanism is a fantastic addition, letting his arms rotate 360 degrees smoothly. There's also a butterfly joint that allows the arms to move forward and back with excellent range, ideal for dynamic punching poses or those dramatic crossing the arms in judgment looks. He's got a bicep swivel for added flexibility, and his double-jointed elbows give him that full bend for all the Kryptonian energy blasting action you could want. The ball hinge wrist rounds things off nicely here, offering great range for expressive hand poses. Now onto the torso, and boy, does this figure deliver. The upper torso rotation is fantastic, letting you twist and turn for some dynamic battle stances. The ab crunch is solid, allowing him to bend forward enough to give that charging up his energy blast vibe. Bending backward is decent too, though not extreme, but it's enough to pull off those iconic Eradicator mid-flight poses. Combine this with the waist articulation, and you've got a figure that can really nail those full-bodied comic-accurate stances. Heading down to the legs, The drop-down mechanism adds an extra layer of range here, letting him kick forward impressively. And even extend his leg backward for some dynamic, in-motion poses. He's got a smooth thigh swivel, which is always appreciated for more natural positioning. And double-jointed knees that fold up beautifully, perfect for leaping or kneeling poses. Oh wait, hold on a second. I just noticed a paint chip on the calf while demonstrating the knee. What? That's a bit of a shocker for a premium figure like this. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but definitely something to watch out for when posing or handling. The ankles feature a good range of articulation, making it easy to plant his feet firmly for those powerful stances or adjust for more dramatic mid-air poses. And of course, the toe hinge is the cherry on top, letting you get that extra touch of realism in action shots. Overall, this articulation setup makes the Eradicator not just a great figure to look at, but an absolute blast to pose. Whether you're setting him up for a fight scene, a heroic standoff, or mid-flight action, this figure can handle it all with Kryptonian precision. Honestly, it feels like they really captured his cold, calculated essence in every movement. Now, with all the good stuff the Eradicator brings to the table, there aren't any major issues to gripe about, aside from that small paint chip I noticed earlier. However, there's one little thing that keeps bugging me: the wrist pegs. When you equip his translucent energy-imbued hands, the black peg is still visible. It's not a deal breaker, but it does stick out and can be a bit distracting, especially when you're trying to get those perfect display poses. I wish Mafex had addressed this by either painting the peg yellow or adding some kind of covering inside the translucent hands to hide it. Just a small touch like that could have made a big difference. Also, I would have loved an extra black head sculpt. Now I know that design is from the newer version of Eradicator in DC Rebirth, if I'm not mistaken, but it would have been awesome to have the option to display him as a villain. After all, the costumes are so similar. That said, I get why Mafex might have skipped it. Since the newer design is based on a different artist's interpretation, it might not have fit perfectly with this body sculpt. Still, it's fun to imagine how cool it would have been to have that added versatility. And how about an additional energy effect piece, like a round translucent energy blast, for those epic, over-the-top power poses? Just imagine the display possibilities with that. These aren't deal breakers by any means, but they're little extras that could have pushed this figure from amazing to absolutely perfect. Now, let's talk size comparisons, because what's a superhero without a super squad to stand alongside? Here's the Eradicator lined up with a few heavy hitters from Mafex's DC lineup. On the left, we've got the Hush Superman from Jim Lee's iconic Hush storyline. And on the right, Cyborg Superman from the same reign of the Superman arc as our Eradicator. As you can see, the Eradicator and Cyborg Superman are neck and neck in height, standing tall and imposing as they should. Meanwhile, Hush Superman comes in just a bit shorter, which might throw some collectors off. I have to admit, I wish the Hush Superman had the same wired cape as the other two. It would have elevated his posability for those dramatic, wind-blown moments. And of course, a slight height boost wouldn't hurt either to make him as commanding as the other Kryptonians. But wait, we're not stopping there. Let's throw in a couple of other DC Mafex figures for good measure. Enter the Blue Hush Batman and the Hulking Bane. Together, these figures form an impressive lineup for recreating some classic comic moments. Whether it's the Bat and Soups teaming up or Eradicator facing off against villains like Bane, the scaling here is spot on. It's clear that Mafex knows how to maintain consistency across their DC line, making it a dream for collectors who want to build out their shelves with characters that look just right standing together. So whether you're building your Justice League or setting the stage for some epic conflicts, the Eradicator scales beautifully with the rest of the Mafex DC universe. This guy will definitely feel at home in any collection. Alright folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the Mafex Eradicator figure. From the sharp sculpting and vibrant paintwork to the impressive articulation and comic-accurate accessories, this figure is a true celebration of one of the most unique and mysterious characters from Reign of the Superman. Whether you're a die-hard Superman fan, a collector of Mafex's incredible DC lineup, or just someone who loves a beautifully crafted figure, the Eradicator is one piece you don't want to miss. For me, this figure checks so many boxes. It's dynamic, display-worthy, and packed with thoughtful details that truly honor the source material. Mafex has really nailed it here, and I couldn't be happier to have him on my shelf. What do you think? Is the Eradicator a worthy addition to your collection, or does he fall short of Kryptonian perfection? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow collectors, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth figure reviews, unboxings, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep posing, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next one.